Welcome to another episode of the Escaping Normal podcasts, where I am having conversations with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Now, I've got a rather extraordinary gentleman sitting here in front of me today. He is the founder of Luxbridge Consultancy, specializing within lead generation, helping businesses scale, find new clients and new opportunities. Now, he works with brands across multiple industries, but here in Dubai in particular within the Dubai real estate industry. So if you're somebody that's interested within lead generation, whether that's for your business or for your personal brand, then I highly suggest you stick around because this is going to be an extremely insightful conversation. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Amazing. Now, normally on this podcast, right? Normally I actually have the pleasure of actually sitting down with someone probably for an hour before, or I actually know them, get to understand them a little bit more. But with you and I think I met you on Wednesday last week.
Yeah.
You came into our office, came and do a presentation. Now, it was when you were giving this presentation that I thought, damn, this guy knows what he's doing, right?
My pleasure.
And I've got to have a conversation with him. So for myself and for the audience that's going to be watching this, what do you think we need to know about Sanad before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the conversation?
Sanad Boughalmi, 24 years old, just turned 24. I've been doing business since the last 4 years. I dropped out of high school, decided not to go to college. It was around COVID as well. And I just started to dive deep down in business. I started in London, came back here later on in Dubai. And I've been living here for the last 3 years now. It's been nothing but great. And I just like business. I just build businesses and that's my thing.
So where are you from? Where are you from originally?
Tunisia.
From Tunisia. So what, born and raised there?
Born and raised there.
Amazing. So then when did you move across? You said you went and studied in the UK, did you?
No,
Okay.
I went to the UK for business.
Okay.
I still have a company there in London, and but it was purely for business. Around 2021.
Wow. So you're only 24. That's actually crazy. You know that. I honestly thought.
I started a bit early. Yeah, I started a bit early. I think, look, when it comes to age, because a lot of people had that that perception that I'm still young, and they are sort of impressed. But again, I know people that are 18 and 20 and they are killing it, making millions and millions. I think it's all about how soon you start and how wiser you get as fast as possible. That's what it's all about. Age is just a number. I think it's a matter of what you're doing on a daily basis, the habits, the surroundings, the community that you are around. That's what will really make you either grow up fast or tie you down until you're 30 and you're still a baby, you know?
So when did you first start getting interested in business then?
Look, so for me, it was always about business since I was a kid. I was a very curious kid. Since I was like maybe 16, I sold my first website, $150 to one of my friends, one of my dad's friends. I was always into tech, coding, web design, WordPress design, and all of that. And I remember even in high school, I grew up a geek with consoles and gaming.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to always have, I will go to high school and I will always have 2-3 CDs in the back of my bag, and I'm on marketplaces locally back home.
Yeah.
And I'm just, listing them, and I go whether to exchange games or to sell it or this and that. So I think it was a bit, the entrepreneurial mindset was instilled in me since a young age, I would say, out of need. I didn't really grow up in a wealthy family. We didn't grow up with a lot of money. We were middle class, I would say. My father was a military man, a high-ranked military man. But again, that's just, status. No real money with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I think. It was really instilled in me since a young age. And, they always say need is the mother of all creation. When you are in need, you are in survival mode. You got to do whatever it takes. And I think that's an interesting aspect of life, or sort of a conundrum to be stuck in for any entrepreneur. You need to go through that phase to actually know what it is to be hungry,
100%.
So I think when it comes to hunger, it's needed at any stage. But when you're just starting out, it's just pure hunger.
Yeah.
Just hungry.
Yeah.
But at the later stage, you start to get stuff, your life starts to get easy. And I always say, I'm always hungry I'm grateful for today because now I have things, but I'm always hungry for tomorrow. And that keeps me in perspective. I'm grateful. I have whatever I need.
Yeah.
But I'm also excited for tomorrow. That's what keeps me pushing. That's what keeps me sort of striving to go out of my comfort zone,
So, I mean, did you study after school?
No. It was just high school. I was homeschooled a lot. I was self-taught in a lot of different aspects. I speak 6 languages. I was self-taught.
What do you speak?
I speak Arabic, my native language, French, German, English. I speak Esperanto and a bit of Hebrew. I have a video somewhere on the internet when I was 16 speaking 6 languages. I posted it online. I'm not sure where it is. I'm sure it's on Twitter somewhere, and I'm sure it's on Facebook. But across my childhood, I had a lot of different, let's say, my thing. It started with music. I used to play the guitar. We used to have, like, when we were in middle school, we used to have like a band, me and some of my friends in middle school, and we were like playing guitar and doing music. And then I completely ditched the guitar.
Okay.
And then I moved to languages. From 14 to 16, languages was my thing.
And that was just pure. It wasn't pushed by your parents or anything. That was just you were just interested.
Then it's now between music and languages, it was basketball, and I am shit at basketball. It was my thing, bro. I was becoming a professional. I breathe. I sleep, I wake up on basketball. That's all I do. And again, it's all about community and who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school, I was surrounded by creative people that have a thing for music. And I started to get into that as well. And I saw myself doing that for the rest of my life, even though I didn't.
Yeah.
And then it became basketball, and then it became languages. And then it it transitioned to coding and, digital stuff. And that's where it sort of stuck with me, because that's where I received the first tangible ROI on my passion.
Got you.
Because I started learning coding and websites.
And was that all? It's all like self-taught.
YouTube is my university for life. YouTube is where it started and where it will end.
That's what they say. Hey? YouTube literally has the answers to everything.
It is. Listen, you don't need any. We might get into that later on, but YouTube has it all.
Yeah.
YouTube has it all. You don't need anything else.
Crazy, but what you just need is the drive, right? Which
it's
I think you have it.
self-discipline.
You have the drive and the self-discipline, which probably 99% of people 100%. Probably don't have.
100%. You gotta be self-disciplined. You gotta be self-driven. Otherwise, you won't stick around. And I think that's something that I struggled with, and I sort of built over time because, I get bored very fast.
Yeah.
And
entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
problem.
I get bored very, very fast. And I think that's why I quitted on music, even though I used to play the guitar well. And then I quitted on basketball, even though with training I could have gotten better. And then, but I didn't see any ROI on those passions until I hit it with coding. I sold my website. I made a bit of money. Shit, I said, I can make money with this. And that's how it sort of progressed to later on, take me further deep into how to make money online. And then it moved to marketing. Oh yeah, you can do ads. And the first time I ever heard about marketing online and ads was in March 2020 when it started with COVID. So,
because how old were you then?
19.
19. So when did you finish school?
2019, June.
Okay.
2019, I graduated high school. I wasn't that typical, C student, turned out an entrepreneur. I was an A student. I graduated high school with specializing in mathematical science, and I was an A student.
Yeah.
But again, I wanted to go to study theoretical physics in Stanford.
Okay.
And I actually applied.
Yeah.
And I applied to American universities. That's if I want to go to college, it's either gonna be Stanford or some good American university.
Yeah.
But I applied to 9 universities, I remember. I got accepted in 2.
Okay.
I didn't get accepted by Stanford. It's like 4% acceptance rate a year.
Yeah.
And even those 2 did not give me like full scholarships.
Okay.
So I couldn't really afford it.
Yeah.
And I said, nah, I'm not going to. I wasn't seeing myself a fit for the local educational system, let's say there.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I'll get my stuff sorted on my own.
So you finished school, you coded your website, you saw that ROI. Now, when did you make that move to the UK, and why did you do that?
So I went to the UK. It's a bit of a roller coaster, because when I was in Tunis, I could not, because you gotta get a bit of background on what I did since June 2019 when I graduated high school till COVID.
Got you.
Since then, I worked a bit of jobs. So I was working in an ed tech company. I was helping the CEO with tech stuff. But then the CEO introduced me to his father, who's one of my amazing, great mentors. And he's a sports agent. He's a well-known sports agent. He represents football players between clubs, you know.
Okay.
And I was his assistant for that whole period of time till COVID hit. And I was working with him as an assistant. I was helping him with, you know, football players, visas, embassies and stuff.
Okay.
I was his assistant basically. And during that period of time, I got to know a lot of people, and I got to know a lot of, you know, the high net worth, let's say, individuals within that community, the football players, the football club owners, literally ministers, ambassadors and stuff like that. So, that's when I got to travel a bit here and there. But when COVID hit, it all stopped. You know, every good story, because I sometimes when I think about it, what if COVID didn't happen and I stuck to become a good sports agent? Did you watch Jerry Maguire?
Yes.
That's what I used to sort of the hopes of becoming.
Okay.
And I saw myself in that life. I enjoyed it a lot because it was always on the go. I hate the office. Now we have like over 30 people in our company. We don't have an office. They are all remote. I hate the office. And I always ask myself, what if COVID didn't happen and I actually pursued that career?
But it strikes me because you do seem such like an analytical kind of like logical, like, you know, you're brilliant with numbers, like tech, and there you are as like a sports agent, which is
a sales. Look,
is not that.
You know, that's the interesting thing, because sometimes you either find the analytical guy or the sales guy, and they are a good match to work together sometimes and build amazing stuff. I, to a relatively good extent, mastered both. So I was the analytical guy, to my let's say mathematical background, my problem solving skills, and my passion to math and problems since I was a kid. But then I was also raised in a military family where communication is top notch. Like with my dad, he taught me how to communicate. He taught me how to be sneaky. He taught me how to do a lot of different things and how to get yourself around situations, because I was a kid, naughty kid, do things, and he would know without even me talking. He would, make me say what I did by communication, by talking to me. You know, it's sort of an interrogation. That's what he used to do to me, and I picked up that skill, and it's communication, and that's what sales is.
I feel like you're that type of person that you can pick up things quite quickly and easily. Like, you got all the languages and guitar and stuff. So, by having a father like that really allowed you to kind of absorb all of that and use that.
Yeah, a lot. It had an immense impact on how I grew up. I always say, people ask me a lot, because for some reason here, people have the perception that I come from money. I don't. But I always tell people that my father, I will not be here if it wasn't for my father, but he didn't give me really a lot. He gave me two things. He didn't give me money. He didn't give me network. He didn't give me experience. He was not a good businessman. and he wasn't, let's say, the best with money. But he was a disciplined man, and he gave me two things that they were all I needed. He taught me how to play chess, and he taught me discipline. And that's it. That's all I needed to be where I am right now in life, and to go where I will be, and to bring, to also raise my kids on what he taught me.
So you say those two things. Interestingly, chess. Why do you think chess is so important in why you are the person you are today?
Problem solving. You're stuck. Look, throughout life, you're stuck in different conundrums. Whatever you do.
Yeah. Life is one big problem solving exercise.
Life is a big problem that you won't end up winning anyways. You will end up dying.
Yeah.
But you're losing the game anyways. But you're playing the game for the sake of the game.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, why would you live? Why would you be alive if you wouldn't wake up every day and enjoy the biggest game, which is life? Right?
I actually love that. I've never actually thought of that. Life is just this massive game, and it's all about how can you get through the game in like the best way possible.
You'll end up dying. You'll end up losing. You will not win life.
Yeah.
Life is the only game that you will play hard, but you're losing at the end.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it's this massive chessboard with a lot of different pieces, and every piece represent a different conundrum, and it has different aspects, and you need to have a multi-dimensional perspective of life to be able to understand how to navigate your way around problems and situations. That's what really life is, and that's why chess is important. Look, I always say, you cannot be successful in life if you are not good in math or chess, or you will not achieve.
I'm screwed.
You will not. No. Let me phrase it like this. You will not be able to achieve your full potential to build things bigger than yourself if you're not good in math or chess. Because what math and chess represents? Problem solving. You're not good. You don't have that skill of problem solving. And the thing is that it's a muscle and you can train it.
Yeah.
So whether it's that's what, in my experience, how problem solving manifested itself in my life.
Yeah.
But it can be in the form of going to the gym and mastering the art of, understanding your body and lifting and knowing how to grow muscles in your chest and your back and your biceps and stuff. That's still problem solving, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it properly and you're solving problems.
Yes.
Or navigate and that will translate in business, in life, in relationships, in a lot of different aspects of your life.
And I bet you're good at chess, right?
I consider myself so. I would love to think so. I would love to think so. I remember I still have, one of them passed away. May Allah bless his soul. He was an old dude. Yeah. When I was a kid, I always used to go to local coffee shops, like around my area where I used to live. And a bunch of my friends will be sitting just right there, and I will be with the old dudes playing chess. And they used to love me a lot because I was the youngest always around them. And I used to eventually learn slowly, but then I started to beat them. And a lot of them are still there. And whenever I go back home, I sort of entertain a game with them. But one of them, he was an old dude. He passed away. But yeah, it's always fascinating whenever I touch base back again on those memories.
Amazing. That's so interesting. And I see you also you're quite religious, aren't you? I saw your story. You Muslim?
I am Muslim. I am Muslim by practice. But I read all the scriptures, and it's confusing. Yesterday on my stories I posted the Bible.
That is exactly it, because I thought you were Muslim, but then I saw that, and then I was like, wait, what?
No, so look, with I'm a big fan of theology.
Okay.
All right. And I read all scriptures, and whenever it confuses a lot. I'm a Muslim by practice. I'm a Muslim by faith. I'm a Muslim by belief. But that's the short answer to how I usually go around that question, because it confuses a lot of people. Whenever I post something from the Bible or from something from the Tanakh or the Torah, it confuses people. People start asking questions because they see me. For example, I go every quarter. End of this month, I'm going to Saudi Arabia, to Mecca, to pray and be there. But it confuses people, and I always try to respond with this. I always say, look, it doesn't matter whether I'm a Muslim or a Christian. I'm a weak man who submits his will to the will of God. I believe in the God of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. And I believe, I read all the scriptures, and I believe that they have God's truth in them. And that's it. That's how I respond to that question. Because I read all scriptures. I have in my house, I have one Tanakh, 2 Bibles, and 1 Quran. And I read. And it's a very fascinating fascinating aspect of my life, because it also, I always try to strive and to have a multi-dimensional perspective, so I can understand what life is all about, Otherwise, if you are stuck to one perspective, you cannot really go far away in understanding how things actually work. Whether it's in business, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in religion, whether it's in faith, relationships, it doesn't really matter. And that's how I sort of train myself on these little things. And theology is one of them. A lot of people debate, whether you should do that. One guy literally responded to my story with the whole paragraph. I still yet to read it, but I'm sure he's criticizing why am I Muslim and then posting the Bible. It's for not only it's a personal thing that you shouldn't really comment about, but again, I also understand where people come from and how they perceive these little things. But in my own perspective, I pursue life with an open heart, and I just study God's wisdom in life, and I try to pursue it, whatever it is. I believe that the Bible has some truth to it. I believe the Quran has truth to it as the final and the last word of God. And I also believe the Torah as well. I believe that they are a continuity of each other. They all came different times for different people, but they are all a continuity of each other. There are no different religions. There are different scriptures. There are different, what we call in Arabic, sharia, which is different, basically, different scriptures for different people. But the religion is all the same. Abraham worshipped the same God. Moses worshipped the one God. Jesus worshipped the one God. It's all the same. It's just different people in different situations, in different time frames, that have, with different communities that had different problems. That's how you should look at it. But they are all a continuity of each other. They all worship the same things. They all preach the same guideline, the same rules. And if you are a Jew and you worship the God of Moses, and you're sticking to the 10 Commandments, and you're believing in the teachings of Moses, you are by extension a Muslim. If you are a Christian and you believe in Jesus Christ, and you believe that he was the Messiah, and you believe that he was a true prophet, God sent prophet to the people of Israel to teach them and guide them through the messed up situation they were in and how society were corrupt, then you are by definition a Muslim. If you believe in Muhammad, you are a Muslim. People perceive Islam with Muhammad and the Quran, but it's bigger. Yeah. If you Google the translation or what does the definition of a Muslim, it's anyone who submits his will to the will of God. Abraham submitted his will to the will of God. Jacob submitted his will to the will of God. Moses submitted his will to the will of God on the Sinai Mount. Jesus submitted his will to the will of God as well. In John chapter 5 verse 30, Jesus says, I can of myself do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is righteous. For I seek not my will, but the will of the Father who sent me. So Jesus is not doing whatever he was doing by his own will. He submitted his will to the will of the Father who sent him. Right? So even Jesus submitted his will to the will of the Creator, the one God. So he was by definition a Muslim. And if you follow the teachings of Jesus, if you don't need to become, I have a lot of, most of my friends here are Christians, Europeans. And I always tell them, look, you don't need to convert. You don't need to be a Muslim. Not only like the concept or the debate of heaven, hell, whatever, afterlife. You don't need to be a Muslim to go to heaven. You just follow the teachings of Jesus. Just follow the teachings of Moses. You are a Muslim. You are a true believer. Not only Muslims go to heaven, true believers go to heaven. So it doesn't matter what's your faith. Believe in the teachings, the true teachings of Jesus. And you're good. You don't need to convert.
Bro, I genuinely wish, imagine how much better the world would be if leaders thought exactly like you, because you look at how many of the world's wars that have happened over religions fighting against each other, and you're so right in what you're saying there, is that it's all one and the same, right? So it's all kind of saying the same thing, just its own interpretation of it.
It's
right?
It's always
its own interpretation. And I always believe that. So you see, I'm not religious at all, and it was more because I always thought, well, how ignorant of me if I thought that my religion was right and that a billion other people were wrong, and vice versa, So, but the way that you sort of just said that right there is it's so true. If you just believe in the will of God, it's all God, and it's an own interpretation of it.
And a lot of people say, but why are you concerning yourself with this? And like, come on, just live your life. You'll die anyways. But I mean, I would rather die. And if I will be wrong after I die, it will not be as bad as you dying and you are a non-believer. You are an atheist or whatever. It will be easier for me. At least I lived my life righteous. And I believed in one creator. I believed in one God. And I died. If it doesn't exist, at least I tried. But it won't be as bad as for you if you did it. But so it's a fascinating aspect. It's a fascinating aspect. Look, you cannot. Let me read you this. I don't remember the verse, but I posted it yesterday. This is Hebrews out of the Bible. Hebrew 11th. 1. It's the chapter of By Faith We Understand Life. It's called By Faith We Understand.
Yeah.
Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good testimony. By faith we understand that the words were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible. I mean, look, if you don't have faith, you can't go through life and be at peace. Faith gives you that peace.
Yeah.
That even if I am going through the hardest period of my life, I feel that life is ending. Why is it happening like this? Why is life treating me like this? If I don't have faith, how would my life be? That's the essence of life. At any given time, you will have shit happening to you.
Yeah, that's life.
So, Kim, let's take two people, same scenario. Life is miserable for both of them.
Yeah.
One is faithful and one have no faith. Who's going to go through it smoothly?
Well, I know that because it's weird. Like in South Africa, where I'm from, right? There's so much poverty, right? But it's one of the most actually religious countries in the world, right? And I would always see, like, so I had a maid growing up, right? Like lived in poverty, but yet she was so religious, and living in like terrible conditions. Her family had no money, but yet they were all happy. And I don't believe that she would have been like that if it wasn't for her faith, because it was her faith that now is the reason why she goes to church all the time. Her whole life is the church, and yet family's in such bad situation, yet she's happy.
Look, the faith, when you believe in something bigger than yourself, when you believe, it gives you that mindset or perspective that God's plan is always better than my plan. I'm only a human being. I'm only a weak slave. Whatever I think I know, I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever God is planning for me will eventually come. A mindset that I live by and I always preach to people. It helps you go through life successfully. I always believe that, look, whatever I need today, I already have. Whatever I will need tomorrow will eventually come. And I'm grateful for today and I'm hungry for tomorrow. I always say that and I always live with it. And I always try to preach it to people because it gives you some level of peace, some level of stillness, some level of, okay, calm down, relax. It will be okay. Otherwise, you're in constant disorder, mentally, emotionally, physically, eventually. Otherwise, how would you go through life, especially with increasing responsibilities and social media, as bad as it is? You're always comparing yourself. You're always seeing other people doing better than you. So it's either you're stuck in that machine, in that system, in that comparison, or you have perspective, you take a step back, you become faithful, you study God's wisdom in you, you pursue life with an open heart, and you know that if it doesn't come, it's not meant for you. If it comes, if it's meant for you, no one will take it from you. No one.
So now when you moved to obviously the UK, I'd assume you obviously took that whole sort of like mindset, and that was something, it's this whole mindset which has allowed you to kind of start that first business, run the business that you sort of that you're running now. Now that business that you sort of had, you know, in the UK, was that just you, or?
Well, it was just me. I opened the company and I started trying to do digital marketing. I went after a lot of different businesses, but I didn't find success. But then I decided to niche down. And I started going after plastic surgery clinics. At one point, I had like at least 10, 15 of Harley Street plastic surgery clinics working with me.
Why plastic surgery?
It was a thing in COVID. A lot of people were insecure, and it was like a business that solves problems, and they charge high ticket.
Okay.
If you give them a client, they make a lot of money out of the AUV, the average order value per client, or the LTV, the lifetime value of a client.
Okay,
is huge for them. So I will be able to charge them a lot. I didn't want to go after gyms. Like what? They make 40 to 100 pounds per month per customer.
Yeah.
How much are they willing to charge to pay me? I wanted to solve a big problem for a big industry, for a client a high ticket industry, where I will be able to charge a lot and work with wealthy people around me to an extent.
That's so interesting. So then how did you approach them? Did you kind of just run your own ads, or just
No, cold emailing, cold calling, texting, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn, cold outreach, basically.
Got you. So then what happened? Why did you leave that?
So we reached at one point, I remember we scaled from like 0 to 25,000 pounds a month in revenue within like the first, let's say, 8 months. And then it just was stuck there. We couldn't scale further.
Okay. How big was your team?
At that stage, we were like probably 6 people, or 6 people. But we were stuck there. We couldn't. The problem with plastic surgery is that you're not dealing with business people, especially in the UK. You're not dealing with business people. You're not talking to professionals or entrepreneurs that are driven by more sales.
Yes.
They are doctors. They don't care. They work with the NHS, and it's more of a public sector, and they don't get excited when you put them on a call with you and you tell them, hey, look, we're gonna increase your bottom line by £1 million if we do this right. Okay, cool. It's more work for me. Yeah. They don't really get excited, and that's a big problem. I mean, if you're taking sales calls and that's the reaction you get from leads, it's not an industry you can scale in. And this is when I first got introduced, and I sort of was the first slap on the face. A market that you can make money in is not a market that necessarily you can scale in. That's the first business lesson I learned.
Okay.
And that's how we needed to divert. And that's why I remember, and that's why how I moved to Dubai real estate, by the way. I remember one of my clients in the plastic surgery was a big group of clinics based here in UAE. They had clinics in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Istanbul. They managed, I think, around 13 clinics in total. And we were working with them. One of the managing partners was Egyptian. Okay. And, over time, we did good business together. We became friends. We started to hang out and, talk a lot on a personal note. And he told me, look, whatever you're doing, you need to come do it here in real estate. And I studied the market, took a leap of faith, started doing my thing in UAE around 2021, July 2021, that, Q3 of 2021. That's when I started prospecting in UAE. Okay. And I found good success. I scaled from like July. I remember the first sales call and the first client I closed was literally July 25th of July 2021. And from that day till November, I scaled to 10 clients in UAE alone. The market was hungry. And the standards of the market were absolutely horrible when it comes to service delivery in my industry. So I came in with my British standards and with my UK standards of how to do business, how to deal with companies, how to market yourself, how to approach businesses, how to do service delivery. Yeah. And people liked it. People say, oh, look, a professional, finally. And I found a lot of success. I found a lot of success with that approach. A lot of people came on board with us. A lot of people enjoyed their experience with us. It was a learning curve because prior to that, we didn't have any experience on how to sell properties online. So we were doing what the market was doing. We did our market research. We saw how marketing is done, and we tried to copy it, stick to what's working. And if it's done by everyone in the market, it means that's the market standard. And every client that we onboarded, we did the same thing for them.
You were helping them with their lead generation campaign.
Yeah, lead generation campaigns. At that point, we were not called Luxembourg Consultancy. We were not a consulting company. We were just a marketing agency.
Got you.
We started doing all of these different aspects: marketing, lead generation. But then slowly, we started to gather a bigger clientele base. Some clients worked for them, some clients didn't work for them. We messed up in some clients. We actually hit KPIs and overachieved in some other accounts. And that's when we sort of started to get out of our comfort zone and understand how the markets operate. And we started innovating in the way we do things. And I remember we were probably, I wouldn't say the first, but we were probably one of the first agencies in UAE to run ads for real estate on TikTok. During that period of time, we were getting 1 dirham cost per lead, 2 dirhams cost per lead on TikTok for projects like the Noob launches, the Mac. It was so cheap. We were doing it in a shitty way, but because we had the first mover advantage, it was insane. It was good. It was really good. I remember one of our clients, if he's watching, he will know. His name is Farhan Safi. He has one of the best companies he was one of my first 5 clients in UAE.
Angles and
he has a company called Revo Realty. And he was the first guy to believe in my vision that we should not do static ads. The market, they take the brochure pictures, they put some text on it, graphic design, push it as a campaign, and that's it. It doesn't provide any value. That's not marketing. That's not advertising. And he was the first person to believe in my vision that we should only do custom-made video content. We should put someone on the other side of the screen explaining what these random people on the internet are potentially buying. And we started doing, I remember the first video we did was absolutely horrible, but it was for the first launch. I'm not sure you were around, you remember this at that time, but it was for Skies, the Noob Skies. It was a project by the Noob, residential towers. He closed in 2 months, he closed 11 deals from TikTok alone. 500,000 here, 500,000 there, 2 bedrooms, 1 bedroom. They were all below 1 million, but it proved the concept. We had like, what the fuck? 11 deals in 2 months? It was crazy. And, then people started getting on it. And, the competition increased. Now the average cost per lead on TikTok is like 100 and...
That's crazy, eh?
Yeah, it was a crazy story.
And is your philosophy still that video content over static content? Or has that sort of changed now?
The way I look at marketing is a value exchange for attention. Sales is a value exchange for money. That's what it is.
Gotcha.
And you cannot provide value, unfortunately, with static ads, not in real estate. I have one of my other businesses is an e-commerce incubator. We build e-commerce brands. And we do static ads, but for different purposes, in the right times, with the right audience, with the right offer. But if you're selling properties, no, you cannot sell it with. You can. Marketing is marketing. Everything will work in marketing. There is no such thing as bad marketing. You do static ads, it will still work for you. But is it the best? Will you get the best return? Will you get the best ROI? No, impossible. But when you do video ads, you're connecting better with the audience. You're portraying the message, the offer in a more coherent, more sellable way. And it translates in a better cost per lead. It translates in a better quality client. It translates in a client that's more aware, which narrows the sales cycle. That's the end goal. You want a deal that closes fast. Mm-hmm. So it's either you put in the time, do a proper video, proper script, proper marketing angles, understand the target, the buyer persona, who you're targeting, and make sure that you're putting an offer for them worth opting in for, worth giving their information to you. Or do random marketing, do static ads, but you will spend shitload of time in the sales cycle because you need to educate them. Mm-hmm. You need to nurture them. So it's either you do it in a video and you get, at least if the sales cycle starts here and ends here, if you do static ads, you get a client that's here more often. But if you do a video ad, you get a client that's around here. They are aware of what they are opting in for. So,
why do you think that is?
Because you're showing them, you're talking to them. You have a static ad that would have a brochure, a 3D design of a building with a lagoon view or whatever, and then you put on it new lunch, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms starting at 2 million dirhams. Opt in, register now. And you have another ad for the same project. Hey, investors in Dubai. Hey, real estate investors in Dubai. Are you looking for your next big opportunity? We have a new launch coming up in 2 months by XYZ developer. These are the availabilities. These are the unique selling points. And this is the starting price. We are only taking few clients because EUIs are limited and we need to move fast. If this is an opportunity you're interested in, opt in below. One of our consultants will be in touch with you to see how we can move forward. Which one provides more value?
100%. And is that the differentiator between like good leads and bad leads?
Yeah.
Because in that sort of terminology, when in lead gen, and you say, oh no, we had good leads or we had bad leads, is that like what you would consider a good lead is someone that's kind of slightly clued up, someone that is serious as opposed to someone that's hitting and hoping? Or how do you differentiate them?
Look, this is a big conundrum because when you think about it, a lead is a lead, but there are a lot of different things. There are a few types of leads. There is what we call the problem-aware, solution-aware lead, the hottest type of lead. You know that deal that you call a lead and 2 days they close? That's a problem-aware, solution-aware client. You don't get those often. And there are the problem-aware, not solution-aware, the window shoppers. You call, hey, yes, I'm interested. I don't know what's going on. What's the market? What are the new launches? This and that. That's the second type of lead. And then you have the not problem-aware, not solution-aware. Somehow, somewhere deep down in their consciousness, they want to buy a property, but they don't know when, they don't know how, they don't know for how long, for how much. That's the majority of people online. So there are the 3 categories of people, and based on your marketing, you get one of these 3. if you do bare minimum effort in your marketing, you will get the random people who somehow want to buy a property because you're somehow doing marketing. You cannot expect otherwise. But then you have, if you do a tiny bit better job and go a bit of the extra mile, you get good clients. You get clients that are aware of what they want. You get clients that they are looking to move faster. You get clients that are near the buying decision, aka clients that are problem aware, not solution aware, or problem aware, solution aware.
Okay, so I'm a business. I'm a real estate company, right? New to the industry, right? I want to do off plan, right? I want to get lead gen out. Where do I start?
You start by, believe it or not lead gen. You don't start at lead gen. You start at backend systems. You got to make sure you have, first of all, a CRM, a streamlined CRM. To be practical and provide value to people, Amos CRM, Bittrex, HubSpot. These are really good options that you can customize for Dubai real estate, and they can provide tangible value in terms of later on. The only purpose of a CRM is to help your agents focus on what matters most and to generate better reports for marketing. That's all it matters. So marketing can improve the results in the front end, and the salespeople can improve the results in the back end. That's how the CRM fits in the big picture.
Got you.
We literally don't take on board companies that don't have CRM. It's either you come, let's do Google Sheets. We tell you no, we cannot work with you, unfortunately. So CRM, first thing, gotta make it happen. Then the agents. You cannot bring random people from the street, give them a business card with a consultant, and then expect to close deals and then wonder why. If they are not aware, if they are not educated, that's you. What's your when you were an agent?
Yeah.
What was your title on your business card?
Sales consultant.
Most people don't do the consultancy part. Most agents don't understand what their title is. They are a business consultant on paper, but they have zero consultancy. They don't know. They are brochure senders. Yeah. They have whatever, business brochures from developers in their WhatsApp. What are you interested in? Are you looking to buy? Spam the client with a million brochure. Let them. What's the mindset around that? You're basically telling the client that, hey, look, if you're interested, here are all the projects available. Educate yourself, and once you're ready to buy, come back to me and let's close. Yeah. How? They will not come back to you. They will not close with you. You didn't do your job. You're a consultant. You are a middleman. That's literally the only thing you should do. That's your only job, is to consult people. You don't sell the properties. The developer sells the property. You don't own the property. You don't set the payment plan. You don't set the price per square foot. You don't set the community. You don't set the amenities. You don't set the facilities. You don't set anything. Your only job is to consult and play as a matchmaker in between. But if you're not educated on what's going on in the market, you will never be able to do your job properly. It's impossible, because you're not mastering your main, literally soul craft to grow in the business.
So then what's the biggest mistake when you go into these companies and you help them with their lead gen, okay? What's the biggest mistake you see that they're making, which is stopping them from achieving the results that they're wanting?
They don't have clear KPIs, and they don't know how to work on social media leads. They don't. I mean, they all expect. So there are two types of companies that we face big problems with. First company, a company that's coming from a secondary market experience. Pure secondary market, they want to get into off-plan. And we have the second type of companies that are the fresh company, the agent who made 300,000 in commissions and then decided to open his own company, right? And he brings in some of his friends, and now they call it a real estate agency. Fair enough, well played. But now if you're coming to us for help, you need to sit down and listen. The biggest problem with these two type of companies is the expectations. The first agency that comes from a secondary market, they come to social media and they expect that the lead quality out of social media for off-plan will be as good as the portal, which are completely different sales, completely different advertising platforms and frameworks. The portal is a high-intent advertising platform.
Yeah.
If I log into Bayut and Property Finder, I'm there to look for a property, the rent, sell, buy.
Yeah.
That's it. The intent is there.
Yeah.
I am a problem aware, solution aware. That's why these portals give you high quality clients more often. And even like a lot of people tell me that they get a lot of junk leads from Bayut and Property Finder as well. But it's a high intent advertising platform. With social media, it's completely different. It's called disruptive advertising. You're putting an ad out there on the internet in the hopes of someone, literally in the hopes of someone seeing it with good targeting, with good management and optimization. Hopefully someone will see it, strike a nerve with them and make them opt in, make them interested to opt in. That's what social media marketing is. It's all based on hope. It's all based on targeting. It's all based on potential product market fit.
So is there not a bit of a hidden hope?
Look, it's all strategy, but in the essence of it, when it comes to the truth, the essence of it, it's hope. It's a bunch of, I'm not going out and picking your leads manually.
Yeah.
I don't have a secret strategy to get you hot leads that are ready to buy. If I can do that, I'm probably a better salesman than you. I will sell the leads myself and sell them the properties myself. Why would I give them to you? Make sense?
Yeah.
But it's all based on strategy. It's all based on product market fit. You have a product, and you have different markets. How can I create a product market fit? And this is why you need a consulting company like us, because we spend millions a month on advertising. We know what works and what doesn't. If you have a product by XYZ developer, you need to understand where that product will make a good product market fit. You cannot do one campaign and launch it in endless countries, in Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands, UK, US, Canada, and then wonder why it's not bringing quality leads. French investors buy for completely different reasons than the Polish investors and the German investors. So you need to understand why those people buy and whether this product will fulfill those needs, and create a proper marketing strategy that will allow them to see the potential or to see their needs fulfilled by that product. And this is why we only do video content.
What's an example of a marketing strategy, of like the strategy for?
Let me give you an example. We want to target French investors. We want to acquire. We have 4 agents that speak French. We want to make use of them, and we want to target French investors. Let's take a market of, let's create a buyer persona of the average French investor. 30, 40 years old, probably based in France, Belgium, or some parts of Switzerland. Very rare in Switzerland, but let's say mostly French, Belgium. Probably more often, if they are not natively French, they are French, North African, Tunisian, Algerian, Moroccan. All right. What are they looking for? They're looking for usually GVC, Arjan, GVT. All right. Then this is the average, right? We have other French investors who buy like crazy stuff. We're talking MBR, Mohammed bin Rashid City, whatever. But let's say they are interested in GVC. They are probably looking for a holiday home, somewhere to go during the holiday season, and Airbnb it or rent it in the rest of the year. All right, so they are looking for investment with a bit of personal use as well. Now, that person is probably looking for a good payment plan, looking for an apartment, usually a studio, 1 bed or 2 bed, anything between 500,000, so we're 500,000 to 1.2 million. And they are looking for no more than like 30,000 to 40,000 euros down payment. And they are looking for anything between 2,000 to 4,500 monthly installment. That's the average French investor. So how can I find a good product market fit for those people? So I can attract them. The new projects, Samana projects, the Mac projects now, they do 1% payment plan as well. Imtiaz, Oro 24. This is how you do marketing.
Yeah.
This is how you create product market fit. You gotta understand the market, and you gotta understand which projects, which products fit their needs.
And does targeting have a big factor to play in all of this? Because I've heard now that you kind of rather you just let the algorithm sort it out. Like, you put it in that area, and the algorithm will find the customer. Is that true? If you go to
yeah, it used to be. Look, a lot of privacy rules came in, laws and iOS updates and stuff like that limited the advertising platforms from getting access to data. They are not as powerful as they used to be before, let's say 2021.
Yeah.
But now it used to be interest targeting, behavior-based targeting, interest-based targeting. But now it's not as powerful as it used to be before. Now it's all about broad targeting and creative targeting. It used to be like this. Let me put it for you and for everyone watching in simple terms. It used to be 20% on the creative side, on what people are seeing.
Yeah.
20% of the effort on the creative, and 70-80% of the efforts on the targeting, the interest, the location, the behaviors, and all of that. And it used to work perfectly. Before, we used to run like a brochure, not even a text. I remember one of the clients in 2021, what we used to do is we used to take like pictures of the floor plans, put it with some other brochures, pictures in a carousel ad, and we run it. And we used to get good leads. But it doesn't work anymore because we used to be very narrowed down in terms of targeting, interest, behaviors, etc. But now it's not the same. Now that equation is upside down. Now it's all 70-80% of the effort should be on the creative side. The creative, when I say creative, it's the ad, what people see online. Yeah. And then it's 20% on the platform, the algorithm, the bidding strategy, the structure of the campaigns, the budget distribution, whether it's a campaign, a CBO, whether it's an ABO, whether it's an Advantage Plus campaign, farming campaign, whatever it is. But these are all media buying strategies. They are not as powerful as they used to be before. Now, all that heavyweight is on the creative side. Now, your ad should target, hook the right audience, educate them, entertain them, qualify them, and convert them. So all the heavyweight that was mainly on the platform and the targeting is now on the creative. And this is why static ads do not serve a purpose anymore. They are not as good as they used to be.
So why when you look and you see all these companies, the biggest companies in Dubai, the real estate companies, you go on the ad, you check what ads they're throwing out, and there's freaking static ads for days because they're just pumping money into it.
They can afford it. We've been in the inner cuisine of most of the big names that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know what they do.
What do they do?
And it's all about money. Because when it comes to advertising, it comes down to two aspects: time and money. If you have the money, you can buy back the time. If you don't have the money, you need to put in the time. If you don't have the money, you need to put in the time and go out and shoot videos and, be creative and try to stand out. But if you do have the money, you do have $1 million to $2 million to pump on marketing per month, and you don't care, because even if you close, if you spend $2 million and you close 30 deals a month, you're way more than covered. You're way more than profitable. And at that stage, it doesn't really matter what kind of marketing. You just need to be there. You need to cover all the market. You need to be the first. And quality and speed, some more often do not go together in the same hand. So more often they just end up, do average marketing. The most important thing is that we are the fastest, and we can win the bidding because we have more money to pump up. So it's all basically money game.
It's a money game, and that's what makes it so difficult to compete with these big guys in the market.
True.
And is that why you would probably say for maybe a smaller business, someone doesn't have that budget, to come to someone like yourself, because your business would then be able to kind of help bridge that gap by producing the quality, by helping produce the quality of the creative, so that it can now compete with those with the big budgets?
Yeah, true. I mean, look, if you don't have, because when you think about it, it's all a market standard, right? The big companies do what they do because they are big companies.
Yeah.
And then the small companies come in and they say, all right, how are we going to get leads now?
Yeah.
What are the big companies doing?
Yeah.
Let's copy them. If they are doing it, it means it works.
Yeah.
right? I mean, if I'm a new company and I go on and open a license and I call myself XYZ Real Estate, I will probably inspire from Espas Real Estate. I will inspire from Macomb Property. I will inspire from Providence, right? And I will just go on and copy them. They are doing it. It means it's working. But what you don't understand is that those companies have leverage. You don't. No one knows you. They have brand leverage. They have name leverage. They have budget, and they have a size leverage as well.
Yeah.
So you cannot compete. You cannot play with the same set of rules and expect same results. How? You have limited resources. You don't have good agents. You don't have a name for you. You don't have reviews online, and you don't have budget. And you want to compete with them. How? So you need to step up your game, and you need to completely play with a different set of rules. And this is why you need a consulting company that will tell you what those set of rules are, that will tell you how to differentiate yourself. So it's very important, yeah.
And I can learn this. Can I not learn this on YouTube?
I mean, listen, you can. Now it's even more further because look, in Arabic we have a say that goes like "A'ti al-khubz al-khabbazu," which means give the bread to the bread maker. If you're not a bread maker, why are you trying to make bread? You are a salesman. Go do sales. You can go and learn marketing. Like, by no means, whatever we do is not rocket science. You can go on and learn it on your own, do it on your own. But does that really help? Is that really your job? It's not. You gotta have a partner with you who knows what to do and who lifts that sort of responsibility with you. And that's where we come in. I always tell my clients, I'm a partner in your company just without equity. That's it. Because without me, your business is nothing. And without you, my business is nothing. So we're sort of partners. Your success is my success, and my success is your success. It starts with you. If you are more successful, I will by extension be more successful, because you will reinvest those profits with me so you can grow. And it really comes down to that aspect, whether you understand where your XYZ, what you master, and you just go on, focus on that, and let people help you.
Well, awesome. They're busy signaling here that we're out of time. Bro, I could literally sit here and talk and talk to you. That was hugely, hugely insightful. Bro, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
My pleasure.
It was awesome getting to know a little bit more about you. And yeah, dude, you're doing some awesome things where your brain definitely thinks like most don't. Let's put it that way. So yeah, lovely having you on, and we'll definitely be having you on again in the future.
Inshallah. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome,
Pleasure.
buddy. Thank you.